everybody. We're the Good Doctors of Abbey Research. I am Dr. Kristen.
I'm Dr. Erin.
And we're sorry that you're here for this coverage, actually, because this movie is terrible. We are talking about... Hallmark Christmas movies. So every year we talk about holiday movies. And for years, that was limited to Hallmark because it was all it was giving us. And then Netflix started getting in the game with middling results. And then Lifetime started getting in the game with middling results. And we decided that since all the results were middling, we may as well spread the wealth. So if you are listening to this on the podcast, you will know that over the last several weeks, we've been doing episodes of holiday coverage from The Vault. And if you're here on the YouTube, you can feel free to go back and watch any of those other videos. There are some that we loved. Obviously, last week's coverage here on the YouTube was delightful. And Boyfriends of Christmas Past from this year was a highlight. And then we have ones like this, which is called A Christmas Treasure. It was not a treasure.
It was decidedly not a treasure.
It was decidedly not a treasure. I am calling... it stars Jordin Sparks and a man who somehow has no charisma. He might be a charisma void. There was nothing about him that made me want to watch him. And all of my notes just say, I am very bored. I am very bored. Those are my notes. So, summary, though. Go ahead, sorry.
Go. No, go.
I was going to say, quick summary. Jordin Sparks is like the 400th generation of this family, or third.
Black family to found a town.
Black family founded a town in Ohio, I think? I don't know. Is this the Seattle one?
No, the Seattle one was the Lifetime one.
Lifetime one,
I don't know. I don't know that we ever learn where in the United States this one is. I could be wrong.
I just could not pay attention so often. So Jordin is third generation of a founding family, and they are opening a time capsule that was buried 100 years ago in the town. And upon opening the time capsule, she begins to reevaluate ever so slowly all of her life choices. At the same time, a guy from Chicago has shown up in their town to help his aunt be a chef in her tavern over the holidays. In what was the most blatant, we are using this building for another thing, let us put fake signage up tavern I've seen in a minute, Hallmark. That was lazy.
It looked like it was never before used as a restaurant.
It's a jewelry store in Vancouver, I guarantee you. Yeah.
I was so confused the first scene in that tavern. I was like, that's not the tavern. What is that? Yeah, it was that
weird.
Was a doozy.
So that's happening where he is now also slowly reevaluating for reasons actually unclear. It may be due to her. It may not be. No one ever says anything. And so they are slowly moving towards each other and to a future. As Erin so succinctly said, nothing happens in this movie. It just exists for 2 hours. So it's, obviously they live happily ever after. I don't know how these two characters do. I am sure these people are lovely, but we're going to add a square next year to the bingo card of leads with negative chemistry because they really don't care anymore.
Yeah, we're adding 2 squares, by the way, because this is the other one we've decided. We've talked about it, but we haven't decided. It's happening live, folks, as we record this. The other one is hot toast.
Oh, so yes.
That is when the male lead, because it seems to only be the male lead, devoid of acting capabilities or charisma or personality. So far this year, we've had 2 hot toast where the male lead is just toast. Is bland, is boring, is not interesting. Jordin Sparks is adorable. We should say this stars American Idol winner, recording artist Jordin Sparks. The literal only redeeming part of this movie was when she sang, and I was girl can sing. That was back when I still watched American Idol, so I root for her. Mm-hmm. I hope she gets paid well by this, and maybe gets a Christmas album. I don't know. But yeah, we're adding like 0 chemistry leads and male lead is hot toast.
They might be the same square, so we'll keep workshopping that. Because, like, can you have no chemistry without hot toast? I don't know.
Touche. We will keep workshopping that, yeah.
We will keep workshopping. We didn't do any updates for this year because
no.
all of the synopsises seemed exactly the same as last year, so we didn't see any need for updates. But there will be updates for 22 for sure.
Yeah, although now, when I've been looking at it, though, like, there's a couple that I think maybe they've moved on from.
Oh.
They're huge on the Small Town Holiday Festival this year. Always. But we don't have any stranded traveler plot points.
True
that
statement.
I've seen.
Well, then again, we are skipping huge chunks of the Hallmark coverage, to be completely fair to the bingo card.
Yeah, and what was the other one that I thought? Oh, character is a gifted musician. Well, I guess technically Jordin Sparks falls into that. But yeah, there's a couple that are maybe eking their way down. But yeah, Dr. Kristen's right. Also, we just haven't been watching them. Did you watch? You watched that royal one in Ireland? Was that royal or just in Ireland?
Yes. So I didn't watch it. It was on. It's the La Chabert of the year, and it stars Paul Townsend, who is not my personal
Stuart Townsend.
My personal attractiveness aesthetic, so I wasn't particularly drawn to it. But it was one of those, like, I turned off the DVR and it was playing before I turned on the next DVR situation. Yeah. And they were in the most American kitchen I've seen ever, but claimed to be in, like, somewhere in Connemara. Like, huge ceilings, giant island, like, not a European kitchen, certainly not an Irish kitchen. He is the local earl, and she's pretending to be a party planner, even though she's not, and there's drama.
Yeah.
La Chabert is winning in everything she does, so I'm sure it was a delightful, charming movie. I need them to stop setting things in Ireland if they're not going to be accurate, because it's like messing with my anxiety.
Yeah, and, like, they can do it well. They've done it well. There was the one this spring, I think it was, with Alan Leach.
Oh, yeah, that one was
Downton
a good one.
Abbey.
Yeah.
And that was, like, there's a difference between it being set in Ireland and it being filmed in Ireland. And that one was filmed in Ireland, and so you can't really, like, if you're filming it, you can't find an American-looking kitchen in Ireland.
And I'm sure there was COVID restrictions.
It's, like, hard. Yeah, true.
You know, I mean, Ireland was not friendly COVID-wise to outsiders for a while. So, I mean, we continue to be in the COVID production consequences.
Tis true.
Many of we read through every single synopsis when we were planning out our month, and very few of them jumped out at us. Now, I will say I recorded the Tyler Hines that doesn't look like Tyler Hines and Brittany Joy Lenz fake dating one.
Nice.
Fake dating is a god tier trope to me.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I recorded that one as well. Like an Unexpected Christmas or
Unexpected
something?
Christmas.
I recorded that one. Yeah, I recorded the Irish one. We'll see whether I watch it or not.
Yeah.
There's another one on there that I recorded that has one of our favorites, like Brendan Penny maybe or something.
Oh, we do like him.
I might be... Anyway,
we
digress.
Can you tell we don't want to talk about this movie?
I was saying we've just spent 5 minutes talking about not this movie.
I know, and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be a podcast episode, so we have to give them something to listen to. But, like, I don't have anything to say about this movie. So let's anyway.
We can reel it in. I've got a couple things.
Okay.
I'll throw them out here for our dear devoted listeners. So this is one of Hallmark's attempts at diversity casting.
Yes.
Which we salute. And what did you say before we started filming? Like, this is really bland, black folks. And
I'm so glad we get mediocre. Like, I want mediocrity of every race.
All races.
We know we've arrived when there's multiracial mediocrity.
Yeah. That's one of of our goals for real inclusivity that we market in our workshops is universal mediocrity. No, I kid. But not what we market.
Like to give credit where credit's due, I actually stole that from a conversation about The Bachelor, because their point was, we've had so many terrible, mediocre, drunk white girls. I don't want every woman of color to have to be like a paragon of virtue.
Right.
I want the drunk mediocre Asians and the drunk mediocre black girls and the drunk mediocre Indians. So it's kind of, and the more I was like, no, that's actually what equality would look like, is that nobody has to be a paragon of virtue.
Right. And like we've talked a lot about in stuff that we've done on Asian American art, and certainly when we covered PBS as Asian American, right? The model minority is a real expectation of Asian folks in this country that has perpetuated a lot of inequality in a lot of different ways. So in all seriousness, folks, we can learn something from mediocre Hallmark Christmas movies starring non-white folks. So we do get that. We get an Asian mayor or Asian American mayor in this one, which usually when Hallmark, like, usually in the past when they do diversity, they pick one.
It's true. They're getting more creative this year.
Yeah, so they're like, this one has black folks in it. Everyone else is going to be white because we're doing a story about black people. Except Boyfriends of Christmas Past, which was just like the whole rainbow of
they have to have hired
humans.
Different casting agents and different production companies. Like, they had to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think some of this pressure is coming from these other outlets that are at times doing it better. Like, two of the movies we loved last year in terms of like actual quality film that also like casually and authentically dealt with diverse humans were both on Lifetime.
Yeah.
So, what else did I want to say about this one? Yeah, it's just a load of nonsense, folks. Like, it's a really, really rote and wooden script. I think the funniest part for me was when she was writing her novel or starting to write her novel, and on the front page of her, like, Google Doc, it said untitled novel by Lou, whatever. And I was like, never in a million years would anyone I know who's a writer put untitled novel.
No, I always have a terrible working title. Like right now I'm writing a fan fiction that is a sequel that is a remix of another one, and I'm calling it like, I have the dumbest name. It's like CN2 Vampiric Boogaloo or something. I'm not calling it that when I publish it, but I'm not calling it untitled fic either.
Yeah, and like the thing that made me giggle so much about that, because I was like, oh, Hallmark, clearly you don't know any writers, like, in my head, and then I laughed because I was like, but clearly they do, because somebody's writing these movies. But I was like you and I write in different capacities. You write a ton of fanfic. We have friends that are novelists, and like, never. That would never happen. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and send it to our friend Liz Nugent, because she would howl.
Oh, speaking of Liz, though, did you see one of her books got optioned for a TV show?
I did.
Oh, that's so. Well, I don't know if we'll cover it because we may be too biased, but I'm excited. It's it'll be a thriller, murder, mystery, crimey thing, because Liz doesn't believe in happiness. So in fiction,
no, she just
in real life she does.
Of course she does. Yes. Our friend Liz Nugent, if you guys are curious, is a fantastic writer of crime novels. Absolutely fantastic. She's got 4 out currently. They're all available in the United States. Buy them. They make fantastic gifts, especially if you have people at Christmas time that love these types of books. But I thought of her when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, she would die laughing. It was so funny. Yeah, I mean, nothing that happens was shocking in this. As you said, it was such a slow progression without real stakes.
No stakes.
Like, this idea that she had to move to New York City to write her book because it's the publishing capital of the world. Girl, you can get, like, it's 2021 in Evans Creek or whatever the name of your town was, too. Like,
Amazon exists, boo.
Yeah, in what world do you think you have to be in the physical location of publishing houses to get something published? That was nonsense. And similarly.
Oh, also, at one point she said, I hear New York's expensive, so I won't be eating out as much. I was like, where are you a human? Like,
do you not have the internet? Like,
there was, oh my God. I was like, did a 75-year-old person, a recluse write this script? Like,
oh, I forgot about that line. That was terrible.
And I'll say too, on things that are terrible, when they opened up the time capsule, I was like, did you guys not even try to age any of that paper? You didn't even try to make it look 100 years old? Like, oh my gosh.
Okay, y'all, I used to work for like 9 years at the Carnegie Science Center, which is here in Pittsburgh. I worked in the gift shop. And we sold parchments. Fake aged parchments of historic documents.
Very common at gift shops across America.
Across America, you know, Declaration of Independence. I
think I have the Gettysburg Address framed
Gettysburg
somewhere.
Address, yeah. Loads and loads and loads. It's not hard to make things look old.
I have aged parchment myself when I was in theater. You just put it in tea.
You just put it in tea and let it dry. Yeah, so this was clearly... surprisingly, maybe they spent their whole budget on Jordin Sparks and they had no budget for anything else.
This was this was for all we give credit when it is due, we also are careful to point out that like this is just phoning it in on the prop master's job. Like you can still nail these tiny things. Even in a 6-week turnaround the way that this is. Anyway, that was the only thing. I guess we can move on to bingo unless you have something else.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, speaking of prop masters, this one had a whole hell of a lot on our bingo sheet.
Yes.
Christmas tree decorating, story from childhood, fake hot chocolates. You've so many.
Solving a mystery of some fashion because they had to figure out that lantern thing.
It was kind of solving a mystery, although even that was so lazy, because, like, at the beginning, we learned that the lantern is, like, what brought Santa to town, and I was like, oh, cool, is Santa gonna come back? No, the lantern just lit when they kissed. I was like...
so weird. The Spirit of Christmas storyline, I think we got.
Yeah. So we decided we did have bingo with this card, with this film, so hooray for those of you, if you watched this film, at least we have bingo. I wish we could give you prizes for it, because that would be better than having watched this film. So we had a gingerbread house. They had a competition. We had a Spirit of Christmas plot point. Obviously, the free card. Diverse lead casting or storyline. And first kiss in the last scene, because they had a couple interrupted, as per usual, almost kisses. So bingo, at least. Yay?
Here's hoping that our next expedition, which takes us to Lifetime and the movie Baking Spirits Bright, which also involves people of color and hopefully a plot, fares us better than this thing does. In the meantime, if you, I don't even know how you enjoyed this video, but if you liked hanging out with us and you're on the YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're on the podcast, shoot us a DM and let us know what you thought of our meandering, if you feel the need to. No matter where we see you next, whether it be on the pod, on social media, or on the YouTubes, we look forward to it. We'll see you then.
Take care.